So I am going to show you how to make a cube in this case it's in Google Docs or in Google Slides, but the same basic principle applies if you are using Google Docs. So if you want to make a cube, because we're going to be working with volume, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to make sure that you have this bar here showing. If you don't, there should be a little arrow on the side. Click that. You're going to go over to where it says shape, go to shapes, and if you notice, you have a whole bunch of different options. You have, your basic rectangle, etc. And if you go all the way here, you will see cube. And you can use this to draw a cube. Now, once you have this cube, you can add a text box and write that, let's say I wanted to say that this was 3 cubic inches, or 3 inches, excuse me. Let's say, and then I wanted to also show the depth here, or the width, depending on what language you prefer. It's the same thing. And I wanted to say, again, I can write in here, I can say 5 inches, making sure that I'm keeping my length, the units I'm using the same, inches and inches. And so I've got now my length, I've got my width, so the last thing I would need is a height. So I would, again, grab a text box, I would drag it. If you want to turn it, you grab that little circle. I would drag it to where I wanted to where I can show you the height. And I would say that this would be, I don't know, let's just come up with one and say 6 inches. So this is one way that you can draw the full cube. And as long as you are labeling it, I'll know what you want to show me, right? And then to calculate the volume for this, you would do length times width times height, 3 times 5 times 6, and you would be able to get your volume. Now, let's say I want to show a structure, and I actually want to show the units within that structure. So I'm going to, again, I went to shapes. I went here, I went to shapes, and within shapes, I went to the cubic unit, the cube, and I drew a small little one. Now, I will, if I want to show that there's a bunch of these in order, I am going to click on this, so I see this little blue box around it. I'm going to copy it, and I can do that by going to edit, copy, and then I'm going to go to edit, paste, and if you have a shortcut for that, that's awesome, but that's one way to do it, and I can actually line these up, and I can continue to paste, and I can paste a bunch of these together, and you'll actually notice that as I'm doing this, I'm able to show the cube shape. And now I can, even though I haven't, and I'm just going to do this a little bit more, even though I have not labeled it, as long as I want to say that this here, I want to make sure that I say that this is 1 cubic unit. That way I know what I'm dealing with. 1 cubic unit. Remember, it's cubic because it has 3 sides. And I'm going to go ahead and just really quickly, now that you get the hang of this, I'm actually going to do this a little more quickly, a faster way, but I can sort of draw this, and now even though I don't have this 3 inches, 5 inches, 6 inches, I don't have these labels, I would be able to use this and calculate the volume based on the fact that this is 1 cubic inch. So again, there's a way to draw the big cube and label it, or if you want to draw, a smaller cube, you can make a structure out of it. So that is how you're going to be, I know we're going to be dealing with volume a lot, and this is how you can draw volume and draw cubes to label them with volumes in Google Slides, and again, the same thing works in Google Docs.